Hello and welcome to Bonus Dad.
Bonus Daughter, a special father-daughter podcast with me, Hannah.
And me, Davey, where we discuss our differences, similarities,
Share a few laughs and stories
within our ever-changing and complex world.
Each week we will discuss a topic
From our own point of view.
and influences throughout the decades.
Or you could choose one by contacting us.
Via email, Instagram, Facebook or TikTok. Links in bio. Hello and welcome to a very special podcast episode.
A very special podcast episode.
Yeah, by Bonus Dad, Bonus
Yes.
Daughter. Today we're going to start on a slightly more sombre note. We are going to dedicate this episode to a dear friend of ours that we lost this week called Mark. So this episode is for Mark and we wanted to do an episode on comedy. So it was nice and fun because I'm sure that's what he would have wanted. So yes, we're going to do an episode on comedy today.
Do you want to just say what you did the other day when you went to put flowers down where he was? What happened?
Yeah, it's quite a funny story actually. So we lost Mark unfortunately in a motorcycle accident. So I went down to the road where we live, and I couldn't find an obvious place to put the flowers down. So I ended up putting them near a marker, like a stone marker near the Barford sign. And it was like you know those stone markers that say like Norwich 15 miles away or whatever.
Yeah,
it wasn't there.
yeah.
It was like 7 miles or whatever it was. And I just put the flowers down. Was like, sorry mate, I'm not really sure where you parted us, but I hope you kind of appreciate the effort as such. And I put them down. I was like, sorry mate, just put them down. And then I said a few words and then I went away. But I thought he'd quite enjoy the fact that I didn't know.
But he would have laughed at that.
I think he would have laughed. I
Yeah.
think he really would have laughed at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bit of a sad one. So we thought we'd do an episode on comedy and make it
And dedicate it
fun.
to our dear friend Mark.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm on my phone today because today
Well,
I forgot.
as you can see,
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
in a new studio.
we're in a new studio. We are kind of, we'll say we're in a new studio. Normally we do the episodes from Hannah's house.
Yes.
But today we're doing it from mine.
Yeah, which means I forgot everything that I possibly needed to bring, such as my laptop to have a read of the actual.
Like you ever actually
read the script.
Read the script.
And I thought that I forgot my headphones, which is weird because my headphones are sitting on top of my MacBook right now, but you also happen to have the same pair of headphones in your bag.
Yeah.
I think there's a glitch in the matrix because they're definitely sitting on my thing at home.
No,
the
they're
only
not.
thing-
They're on your head.
The only thing I can think of was I did recently buy some new in-ear headphones and I was going to use them instead.
Right.
And now
okay.
I'm starting to think, did I put those on top of my MacBook and not these headphones?
Possibly.
Because obviously these headphones are here.
Possibly.
Very confused. Very confused.
Mhm.
So yeah, I forgot everything because normally everything's in my house. So yeah, I completely forgot everything. You okay there?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, sorry, that's better.
Sweet. Yeah, I sound a bit more softer now.
Yeah, because
just
we're in a new room. It's taking a little bit of time to get the sound kind
Echo.
of. Yeah, there's a little bit of echo, which isn't great. But no,
Little
we
bit
are
of
in my house today.
Yeah.
So we're actually in the garage.
House. Yeah, we are.
We're in the
technically
garage,
speaking.
and we've got something different in the setup today as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a bit more professional now.
We have. So normally we have the YouTube video is done through the lapel mics
And the iPhone.
and the iPhone. But
Yes.
I went out and I bought myself a new MacBook.
Woo!
So we're actually running the sound that you are going to be hearing through the Rodecaster is going directly into my laptop, which is over there.
Which means the sound quality should be better. And
Yes.
it means that we can also use
The marvellous.
SoundPad.
Good evening.
Yeah, and now that YouTube can appreciate our funny quips on the SoundPad.
They can indeed.
Yes.
They can indeed.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about comedy.
Let's talk about comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read the script. So
I know you haven't. You never
why
do.
don't you start?
You never do. So I've gone a little bit like I normally do, looked into a little bit of the history of comedy. But then I thought we'd talk about some comedy shows and also how comedy from a sociology perspective.
Okay,
How comedy
okay.
actually works. Because I got this idea from I listened to an episode, a podcast episode with Jimmy Carr.
Ah.
And Jimmy Carr was being
Funny
interviewed.
man.
He is a very funny man. And he was being interviewed by Louis Theroux.
Ah, yes, yeah.
And it was a very, very good episode. Very, very good. And I thought, actually,
This
I
is
never.
your inspiration.
Yeah, and when I was listening to
like
Jimmy
it.
Carr speak, because Jimmy Carr's one of those comedians who let's just say you either like him or you don't.
Yeah, I think he done. What was the show where he was like, "This is my career-ending show" because he'd done a lot of.
He does a lot of he does a lot of jokes that are very close to the line.
Very
shall we
close,
say.
yeah, very close to the line. Yeah.
And he tells a lot of career-ending jokes.
Career-ending jokes, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
But I'll come on to it later on, but there's actually a science behind it and what he does.
Nice.
And because, of course, with comedy, especially with comedy that is, shall we say, offensive.
Yeah.
Right. Well, again, the word offensive is subjective. Some people might be offended by certain things, other people don't.
Yeah.
But what he kind of says is that this is a safe space.
Yeah.
You know, this is a safe, and that's part of what comedy is. This sort of thing you shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah.
But you do.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with not probably what's being said specifically, but rather the intent behind it. Intent comes into it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
A bit more.
Yeah.
So let's go back in history.
Back in history. Time warp. We should have a time warp sound pad.
We should. We really should. Actually, because I can do loads of little sound.
We could do
the.
Oh no, I don't know if we'd get copyrighted. Actually, I was thinking like the Doctor Who theme tune.
Oh. So we were going to do a life update, but of course we haven't actually really got anything to say because we haven't really done anything.
I've been so poorly.
Yeah,
you've been poorly as well.
I've been poorly, and I've been doing a lot of my Tales recordings as well.
Yes,
and I have done a few more recordings on here as well, which we might get to use today, hopefully, which will be quite funny. Yes. So why was I going with this? I started off something.
You said we were going to do a life update, but then realised we hadn't done anything, and then I don't know where you were going with that. Jimmy Carr was mentioned.
Yeah, I actually completely lost my train of thought.
Okay, well, that's fun.
Happy Sunday.
Go back to the
Go back to the script. Okay.
That's what it's there for.
This is a good start.
This is a great start. I'm having a great day.
Yeah.
Oh, I did bring breakfast, though.
You did bring breakfast.
It took me ages to get the breakfast, but it was all correct.
Actually, that's what I was going to say. So I even texted you this morning and said, please remember an extension lead.
Yeah.
And please remember this and please remember that. And you've brought none of it.
I brought the table. That's the one thing I remembered. My Mac is sitting at home on the stairs. I just forgot to pick it up when I left the house. Yeah. It was because I had like the table in my hand, which is quite a bulky table, even when it's down. And I was lifting that through and I just closed the door. I got distracted as well because my neighbour is on holiday at the moment and they have like a cat sitter come in and he was really nice and I was just chatting to him outside. Again, he distracted me from everything that I needed. I will make a list next time and remember everything. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. Or we could just keep it. Do you actually need this table?
Yes.
You do? Oh, okay.
In my defence, it has been a very, very weird week.
It has been a very strange week.
It's not been the most mentally happy week. So I'm not surprised that I've forgotten a few things.
No, okay.
Anyway.
So let's go to
comedy.
Pre-20th century comedy in theatre, essentially where comedy kind of started to go, shall we say, mainstream.
Oh, mainstream comedy. Let's go.
During the Restoration period, between the years of 1660 and 1700, and this was kind of after the English Civil War.
Okay.
British comedy started to flourish on stage during the Restoration period, essentially.
They needed some cheering up.
They did need some cheering up. And you had playwrights start, people like William Congreve and Richard Sheridan, and they started to write witty... Satirical comedies.
Gotcha.
And that kind of started poking fun at sort of social norms.
Okay.
Things like that. So, and then in the 19th century, we had a thing called vaudeville, the music halls. Vaudeville.
Is it...
they were kind of like
German
music hall acts. Can you remember like music hall acts? And they were kind of they were stand-up skits, slapstick routines because early comedy was very slapstick.
It was like Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah,
like falling off things and stuff.
Come on to Charlie Chaplin. But yes, slapstick was that kind of real. I mean, when you look now, modern day slapstick, you're looking at things like, I say modern day for us, or more like bottom. Things like that. That was very slapstick.
When I think of slapstick, I think of Only Halls and Falls.
Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah. Only Horses and Falls.
I don't actually find slapstick comedy that funny.
It's not my cup of tea. I don't find Dad's Army funny either.
No, I don't find it that funny.
Even Blackadder, I quite liked Blackadder 4. But because it's a little bit more intelligent slapstick.
Well, it is. Yeah, that's the thing. It's I prefer the intelligent comedy.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. I don't like beating up for the sheer of beating up.
No,
That's
I
just
don't.
how-
I just don't find like things like the Three Stooges. You know, when they hit each other with planks, and I just don't find that funny.
No, I'm not into
I
that.
really don't. I know a lot of American comedy is kind of slapstick.
Yeah, I think I should have started this podcast episode with a caveat saying I actually am not really into comedy because I find comedy like a little bit. Sometimes I don't understand it, and I think it's like the nuance of it, like the sarcasm of it. Sometimes I don't always understand.
See, that's the thing about the British humour is we are very sarcastic.
Yeah, like something like Austin Powers Goldmember. As a kid watching that, I just thought everything he was saying was normal. I didn't realise every single line was a joke until I watched it as an adult, and I realised that every single line in that show is a joke. There's not a single reprieve of comedy from that.
No.
I still love the movie, but it's I don't think I realised. I don't think I always understand the nuance. And people that make me laugh are like Richard Ayoade.
So, yes.
It's more that kind of humour. I don't know what you'd call that.
Yeah, it's very dry.
Dry, yeah. I like dry humour.
Dry humour.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at someone like, so we've been watching The Last One Laughing again because a new series that's come up.
Yes, I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Now, obviously, you've got the ridiculous side of comedy, which is things like Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer.
Yeah.
Shooting stars, things like that.
Bob Mortimer just gets me. I don't know what it is, but it's just so random and so off the cuff that it just makes me die.
That is exactly what it is, and that's what
Unexpected
makes his
comedy.
comedy so intelligent. On the face of it, you think this is just nonsense, but when you actually look at it and look at what he does and how funny it is, it is genius because it's random.
Yeah.
It's absolutely random.
It's so off the cuff.
Yeah.
When he got Richard Ayoade in the last one, that was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Mortimer is an absolute genius.
He is a genius.
Absolute genius.
He deserved to win.
Yeah.
See if he wins again.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Other things that happened in vaudeville were things like vaudeville were burlesque, things like that. It was all very dancey, that type of thing.
I wouldn't necessarily call burlesque comedy, but I guess it is kind of a more satirical take on lap dancing, isn't it? I guess it's more of a satirical take on sexy dancing.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
And then of course we come into the early 20th century, which is the radio and silent film.
Yes.
And you've already mentioned him, the genius that was Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
And that was the silent film era. So the early film era, the earliest 20th century, saw the rise of physical comedy and slapstick routines with figures like Charlie Chaplin becoming international icons. Now, when you think of silent film, it had to be visual.
It had to. That's what I was just about to say. Maybe that's where slapstick kind of really got its origins, because they couldn't do sound. No. So it makes sense that they would do physical comedy, which is cool.
And of course, it's very over the top as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when you actually look at what Charlie Chaplin did in some of those silent films, he did all of his own stunts.
Yeah.
Now, there's one particular famous scene where he's standing in front of a house, and the front of the house crashes down.
Oh, yeah.
And when it crashes down, he's standing in the open window, and the open window just goes around him.
Yeah.
Now, you think about the actual measurements that they had to do to make sure that he didn't get hit by the house. That had to be precision.
Yeah.
So, that's just insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
I think as well, someone that I think of when I think of physical comedy in the more modern day, although I don't actually think he does comedy anymore or has retired, is Lee Evans.
Yeah.
He done a mix of kind of stand-up, but he also done a few, he didn't do stunts as such, but he kind of made his face contour into certain things. And when I really love his sketch of the self-checkouts.
That's brilliant.
When he like puts over the thing and it's like, item not recognized, sprouts, and he goes like it was like an amazing like a miracle thing that it suddenly realized that he was scanning his sprouts. But it's kind of, he used as a mixture of the two, that he kind of stand up, but also that he's got that physical element to it, that his facial expressions really make it.
Yeah, he uses his body to tell the rest of the story as well as the sound. I mean, there's one really funny sketch where he's giving himself an appraisal.
Yeah.
And he's playing his boss and him, and he keeps switching chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's genius.
Yeah, see, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
Yeah. And you've seen the one where he does the I drive the coach.
Yes, yeah. He was a real like big star in his day, wasn't he, Lee Evans?
Yeah,
he was the one that you kind of heard of.
Yeah.
Or I felt like he was the one. If you thought of comedy, you thought of Lee Evans. And,
100%.
He kind of looks funny as well, which I don't mean disrespectfully. I just mean he's just got a very comical kind of look about him as well.
He
like
does.
his facial expressions and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Comical man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then after the silent film era, we had the radio in the 1920s and 40s, and then we had things like the Goon Show started being on the radio. And also we had the rise, especially up in like the 60s, we had a guy called Alf Garnett come on the scene.
Okay.
Especially in England, and he did things like Till Death Do Us Part.
Okay.
Now, Alf, when you watch some of those shows now, they wouldn't fly today.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't fly today. You think about the time there was then, and there was a lot of jokes about racial stereotypes, culture stereotypes, things like that, and misogyny and that type of thing, which at the time was funny.
I feel like misogyny particularly is the one I struggle with the most. I don't believe in censorship because I believe at the time, it was more acceptable. Should it have been acceptable? Probably not. But, I like to think that things made in their time, I appreciate that was in a time where
that's it.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Although it was. It's just one of them things that I think misogyny nowadays, if people joke about it, people just think, oh, you are just so behind the times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not seen as funny anymore. It's seen as more, you are so out of it.
Yeah.
You are so out of the modern day. Like those jokes aren't funny anymore because
no, they're not.
We've moved on.
There's you've seen Jim Jeffries.
I don't know.
He's an Australian comedian.
Okay.
Right. Jim Jeffries is again he does this amazing skit.
Oh, is he on is he the Australian comedian on Last One Laughing?
No,
Oh,
it's not him. Not
guy.
him. No, Jim Jeffries does this amazing monologue on gun crime in America.
Oh, okay.
And about the Second Amendment. I mean, he quite famously says the line, "It's called an amendment."
Yeah.
You
amend it.
You can change it. The clue is in the name.
Yeah.
And he does this amazing thing on guns. He says about, there's one bit in the thing where he says about, well, the gun is locked away in the safe drawer.
Right.
Or in a closed safe, locked safe. And he says you've got a burglar coming in and you're trying to remember the combination. You're saying, hang on a minute, just a minute. Like, what? And he said to your wife, what's the combination? It's our anniversary. Like, I'm going to remember that. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
But what he says, the reason I mention him is because a lot of his jokes are quite close to the line. And he said, like 10 years ago, you can't cancel me for a joke that I did 10 years ago.
No.
Because the line was here.
Yeah.
Then.
I agree.
He said, now the line has moved.
Yeah.
So I don't go past this line now.
Yeah.
So you can't
I
criticize
completely agree
me
with that. Yeah.
for doing comedy when the line was here back then.
Yeah,
You
I
can't do it.
completely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a show of more of how we've moved on as a society. In fact, if we start locking down on those things, if we start making people apologize or I think we won't see the progress we've made.
No.
There is nothing. That's like ripping down statues and stuff of certain people. Like I don't agree with that either because again, it's a product of the time. We need to keep that history alive. We need to learn from our mistakes, not
100%. In fact, because as we know, Jimmy Carr does. I mean, one of his career-ending jokes was the Holocaust joke.
Yeah,
the Holocaust joke, and he actually said, this is going to end my career, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah,
and he does it, in such a way where it's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah,
but he delivers it quite well.
Yeah,
and he does, and that actually reminded me of something. I was thinking about the Holocaust, something that you've just said, which is quite poignant. Now, obviously, during Germany. During the Second World War with Hitler. Now, the Germans, I know they teach this in history. And it's basically saying, look what we did.
Yeah.
But they do it in such a way so that the German population who are alive now it's not their fault.
No, absolutely not.
They weren't there.
No.
But what they do, the reason they teach it in history is so that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is so true. It's like we should, like you said, we should learn from our mistakes. So tearing down, cancelling things, doing that, no.
Yeah.
Because what you're then doing, you're not then realising what happened back then to make sure that it doesn't happen again because we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
So we have to teach those mistakes to
Exactly.
not let them happen again.
I really struggle with censorship as well in old TV shows. The classic example, there's two examples. Scrubs is one of them, Gilmore Girls is another. So in Scrubs, they have removed a scene where JD does blackface. Now, I do not agree with blackface, just want to preface that. Like, I understand the implications of that.
I have a picture that says different.
I know. which is what's going to get me onto the Gilmore Girls thing in a second. Please don't make me out to be a racist.
We will explain.
Can we please explain
we'll
that?
Explain that
a little
comment.
bit later.
Yeah.
So the Scrubs one is they're making the joke that you shouldn't do blackface. So what JD and Turk go to a party. Turk has white on his face. JD has black on his face, and they go to a party and they say, "Oh, we must stick together, otherwise it will look like JD is being racist, right?" And then for some reason they get split up, and then JD gets beaten up for being blackface. But they've cut on Netflix or wherever I can't remember where it's actually being shown. It is completely cut. That scene. But the whole point of that scene is to say that it's bad. So the reason for cutting that is just so incredibly strange to me. I don't understand. Now, Gilmore Girls, same thing. Not the same thing, sorry. All they're doing is sitting there in face masks, and she just happens to be wearing like a brown face mask, like a chocolate face mask, which I also done as a kid. I had also a chocolate face mask, and now it's a kind of a picture that we can't even share.
No,
because
exactly
it looks like I'm doing blackface, but all I was doing was wearing a
mud mask.
A mud mask. Yeah.
There's a picture of
chocolate flavored mud mask. Yeah,
there's a picture of you and your mum, and your mum's got a very pink mud mask on, and you've got a very chocolate coloured mud mask on. It's chocolate mud, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've basically cropped that image, and I've saved it in my phone, and every now and again I send it to you and go, "Don't behave, otherwise this is going public."
Yeah, it's one of those pictures that like genuinely could be incriminating, even though I'm
6,
7 in it. Like
you just got this little smile on your face.
I was well happy. It smelled like chocolate.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, again, I didn't even have a concept of what blackface was then. You know, it's just a mud mask. And the same thing in Gilmore Girls is that they're chilling on the sofa with mud masks on.
Yeah.
They've cut the scene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not, that's not racism.
No.
It's just not. It's mud masks.
It's people just seeing things on the surface and not understanding what they actually are.
And I think if you actually ask the minority population that could offend, if it offended them, I'm pretty certain they would say no.
Well, there's
the problem.
There's a TikTok video of a guy who dresses in full in Chinese culture garb. I can't remember if it's Chinese or Japanese. I can't remember. But he actually walks down the street in China and Japan, and he asks people, he says, "Is this offensive what I'm wearing?" And the population are going, "No, you look great."
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like, no, you actually look really good.
Yeah.
You know, so it's when people get offended on behalf of other people.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
Yeah, because to me, that's actually offensive because you're then saying that you're better than...
Yeah, that you can decide for them.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the whole thing like with the Mexican hats in Pedro's.
Yeah.
I mean, just... Yeah, no.
It's so silly. It's so silly.
So with the kind of after the Second World War, kind of post-war, we had a lot of satirical kind of TV shows come up.
Blackadder,
that was the week that was in the 60s, and that used humour to challenge political authority and comment on social issues. Then in the 70s and 80s...
It challenged propaganda, I feel.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. And in the 70s and 80s, we saw a significant rise in stand-up comedy. And this is where I started getting interested in comedy.
This is more your era.
I mean, we had things like the Comedy Store was a big thing. And I'm going to say some names now and you'll immediately recognise them. Lenny Henry, Ben Elton, Rick Mayall, Adrian Edmondson, Alexei Sale, French and Saunders.
Didn't Ben Elton have something to do with Blackadder? Didn't he write
He wrote it.
Yeah,
he wrote it.
And Rick Mayall was Drop Dead Fred.
Yes, he was indeed. Damn
straight.
And I've met Rick Mayall.
Have you?
Yeah, I did Scarborough Drama Festival.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Yeah. He's a very, very nice guy. And then you've got the things like Fry and Laurie, Stephen Fry, who is an amazing man.
He's a very intelligent man.
He is, because that's the other thing you notice, that comedians, especially stand-up comedians, are actually incredibly intelligent people.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it funny.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen Fry, I would say, is probably one of the most intelligent people that we've got. I mean, I've spoken to him personally a couple of times, and he is so intelligent.
I wonder what his IQ is.
Guy. I don't know.
Not that IQ is that good a test for intelligence, but I just wondered.
Yeah, but he is an incredible... And he's a lovely guy as well. He's tall.
I hear he's tall.
He's massive.
Is he like 6'5", 6'7"?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, very tall. Very, very, very big man. Very big man, but absolutely lovely. Really, really nice guy.
A gentle giant.
He really is. He really is. So yeah, things that were then born like with sitcoms, especially in the UK, things like The Young Ones. and then of course, which went on to Bottom, things like that. And then in the 1990s, we kind of had what we called the Britcom boom.
Britcom boom.
Britcom boom, and things like Absolutely Fabulous, The Office.
Yeah.
Did you not like The Office?
No.
Thought it was very, very clever. Very clever.
No, I wasn't a fan of The Office.
French and Saunders.
I don't
You ever
know
watch
that
French
one.
and Saunders?
No.
Absolutely Fabulous as well.
No.
Never watched that. Probably a little bit too
I'm too young.
for that.
Much too young.
But you've heard of, I'll tell you one comedy show which was absolutely genius, was Father Ted.
I've heard of Father Ted.
Father Ted, with Dougal and Ted.
I've heard of Father Ted.
There's a brilliant comedy. There's a brilliant.
Is it religious satire?
It is.
Father.
Ted is I hear you, he's a priest. He's an Irish priest. And there's one scene. I hear you're racist now, Father.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I get you.
And there's one hilarious scene where Dougal, shall we say, is the character of Dougal is intellectually challenged. Okay, and then you've got Ted, who is the main priest. But they're all, it's just, very, very funny. But Dougal is in a milk float.
Okay.
Okay, and he's travelling, and of course, milk floats don't go very fast, do they? Like 5 miles an hour tops. And it's a take on speed. Where he's not allowed to go below 4 miles an hour.
Right.
Otherwise, the bomb will go off on the milk float.
Right.
And you've got Ted knocking away all of the obstacles so that Dougal can carry on driving this milk float. And there's this brilliant bit where there's a load of boxes like in the road randomly. Like there wouldn't be a pyramid of boxes in the road for any reason.
Right.
And then you've got Ted just trying to take these boxes down before Dougal. You can just see the doing this. It's just ridiculous, but
Very
it's
cool.
so funny. You've heard of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, haven't you?
Yeah.
A lot of comedians, actually, especially stand-up comedians, they kind of got
Debuted
there.
Yeah.
You got things. Dara O'Brien. Sarah.
Mock the Week. Great show.
See, that is the thing. When you put a load of comedians in a room,
Yeah.
and you do something like 8 out of 10 Cats,
Yes. I love 8 out of 10 Cats.
and Mock the Week.
I
and
like Big Fat Quiz of the Year as well.
Big Fat Quiz of the Year is another.
Never
one.
Mind the Buzzcocks.
Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
Sort of.
Yeah. That's when you've got Taskmaster. You've got comedians bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
It is just absolutely hilarious.
I find a lot of those shows funny when they all bounce off each other.
They are very, very, very good. And then of course in the 2010s, we've got things like alternative platforms like The Last Leg. I mean, we already said kind of Mock the Week. One other comedy show which I absolutely adore, and I just can't wait for the end of the year for it to come on. It's only over half an hour, but I just really look forward to it, is Charlie Brooker's.
Oh, yeah.
The screen wipe.
Yeah, that's good.
Because again, Charlie Brooker is another, as far as I'm concerned, genius of comedy.
Yeah. He does the Black Mirror stuff, doesn't he?
He writes Black Mirror, He is an amazing writer.
One other show I just suddenly thought of was Russell Howard's Good News, which is obviously satirical of news.
Yes. Yeah.
Very politically driven, and I
Yes.
think it's funny if you are more left wing. I have to say, because he's a bit more left than he is right. But yeah, I find, or I used to find some of it like Mr. Long-legged Cleggy Weggy, just stuff like that, and the goat when it's like, right, goat, yeah.
There was actually one comedy show that I've missed off in the 80s, and that's this comedy show called Spitting Image, which you've reminded me when you're saying about very politically charged.
Yeah.
Spitting Image was brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant. Actually, there was another show in the 80s as well, when we talk about racial stereotypes, a show called Allo Allo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Is that the one with Peggy Mitchell in it?
No, no. But it was set in World War II, and you've got like the stereotypes of the French. You've got the resistance fighters, the 2 British airmen stuck up in the loft. They're hiding them,
right?
And then you've got the the Fallen Madonna with the big boobies, which was the painting that they were always trying to find.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But again, you couldn't show it now because it's so stereotypical.
Yeah.
It's so stereotypical.
I understand.
Yeah. But then, of course, we do have people like John Bishop, Jack Whitehall, someone else.
Jack Whitehall, when he gets drunk on F1, just the most hilarious thing in the world. He's great.
You've got the likes of Sarah Millican, who I find hilarious.
Yep, Sarah Millican, yeah.
And then you've got kind of, then you've got the offensive side of comedy, which is Frankie Boyle,
Yeah.
Jimmy Carr, and Ricky Gervais to a degree as well.
I'd say Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais as well. But they do explain it, and that's why I do like them.
Yeah.
Because they explain, yes, it's offensive, but we're doing it for a reason. We don't actually mean this.
Yeah.
We don't mean it, but we're saying it for another reason.
Yeah.
And it all comes to do with the intent behind it.
If you don't think of it as a literal meaning, if you don't think of it literally, it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So, but why? What is it about comedy? What do you enjoy about comedy? I know you said a little while ago you don't really like it, but
I don't like many comedy films. Like, I'm not a massive fan of, like, everyone's always like, oh, watch The Hangover, or which I've watched.
Again, but I don't find that funny. That's slapstick.
Grown Ups, stuff like that. I just don't find those sort of comedy films. We both not a fan of Will Ferrell, like that kind of thing. I do like Ryan Reynolds. I think his humour is quite funny, but again, I think it's kind of very British in a way.
Ryan Reynolds does a lot of improv in his films.
Yeah.
So that cut you've seen, he's probably done about 5 different takes of different things that he's tried out, and then they take the funniest bit.
I also really enjoy Seth Rogen's humour.
Seth Rogen's hilarious.
I really enjoy his humour. I think it's just kind of, because I've been watching the TV show Ted from the films.
Yeah.
I find the TV show a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think with Ted, it's just so funny. It's the similar concept to in Buzzcocks when they have the lineup and they all say that guy looks like he would drive a bus or something like that, and he looks like a bus driver or something like that.
Yeah.
I think in Ted they kind of just do that, but kind of over exaggerated, and they do that in mostly every episode. There is one person they kind of pick on and they rattle them off each other, and that's so funny to me. I think for comedy, for me, it just has to be. I don't want to say it has to be funny. It's not that. It's just that there has to be some sort of dryness to it for me to understand it.
Yeah.
I don't like slapstick. I don't really like comedy films, but I would happily watch. I like James Acaster. I think he's really funny because he's just so dry. And I think James Acaster I find so funny because he says what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it has to be relatable for me to be able to understand it.
Okay.
Like Russell Howard, for example, there's a couple of things, the political side of things, that I don't really understand the jokes. But I find kind of the shouting goat quite funny because it's just off the cuff. So anything that takes me by surprise really makes me laugh.
That's it. What makes me laugh
element
is
of
the
surprise.
the unpredictability
and
of it.
I think that's why I like Bob Mortimer so much, is because you just don't know what's going to come next.
No.
And it will just be completely
out
random.
There. Just out there, just
completely out there. I could not do Last One Laughing because
I'd lose it.
I
would lose it. There was a brilliant TikTok video I saw the other day, and it was Bob Mortimer.
Yeah.
And he's just got his phone like this, looking at it, and he just goes, "Day 6." And I'm still stuck under the antifreeze. And he's just got a tub of antifreeze on his leg. It's like, I haven't been able to move for 6 days. He said the worst thing is, I even bought it myself. It's just like so random.
Yeah. And I think it's that kind of humour that gets me. And I think, again, I like Richard Ayoade because it's just, he says what I'm thinking. It's kind of that, when it's so funny that I never forget that scene of Last One Laughing when he enters the thing and someone goes to hug him and he goes, "No, I don't do hugs." And it's just so funny to me. It's just so like, it's just challenging those social norms, I guess, that just make me laugh so much, because I'm the same and I don't like hugs. And I don't know if the real Richard Ayoade, because I think he plays a really good character.
He plays an amazing character.
Maybe he does like hugs, but for me, I find that so relatable. It's so funny.
What gets me about Richard Ayoade, because he is so good at it, it's when he cracks and you can see the corner of his mouth start to smile, as though he's like, all right, they've got me.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I also, someone we haven't mentioned as well, Noel Fielding. I find him hilarious.
Noel Fielding is...
He's just had such an interesting life. I'd love to read his biography.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be so interested in that.
So have you ever heard the story about when he ended up working in a charity shop?
No.
This story.
Go on.
So it's when they were filming The Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
Right. Which again is
the moon.
I'm the moon. I'm old Greg. Old Greg is brilliant. But when they were filming The Mighty Boosh, and he went to a party and he met this girl, and they went back to his place afterwards, and the next morning she had to go to work, and he felt bad because she was going to be late. So what he ended up doing was he ended up going to the charity shop with her, opening up the charity shop, and ended up working half the day in there to help her out. Apparently, everyone on the film with the Mighty Boosh set was, "Where's Noel?" They rang him up and he's like, "Well, I'm working in the charity shop."
So funny.
He's just
He
helping
seems just
out.
like a really nice guy as well. Like
Yeah.
obviously, tentative to his one night stand as
Yeah.
well. Like it just seems, yeah.
But there's
Funny.
I mean,
Funny.
there was in Never Mind the Buzzcocks as well. They had Noel Fielding, Howard Marks, and Talisa on one.
Oh, no Jamali.
No, Jamali. This was
I love
years ago.
Jamali.
This was years ago, and I can't remember who was hosting it or who was hosting it at the time. But they said something or whatever, and Noel Fielding said, well, Talisa's been up for 48 hours because she's been doing a music video. We've got Howard Marks, who's the biggest stoner in the world. He said, and you've got me. We're Team Fuzzy. He said, you're actually lucky. We're actually even facing the right way.
I love Noel. I think he's funny. Jamali gets me.
Their dynamic is really good.
Their dynamic is hilarious.
Yeah.
I love Jamali's, again, outlandish, so funny, the things that he says.
Yeah.
And he's so blunt about it. I think again, it's the bluntness for me. With Richard Ayoade, it's the bluntness, it's the surprise. The element of surprise for me is just the funniest humour. Yeah.
Yeah. There's I'll mention another comedian just as a guy called Bill Hicks.
Okay.
I've mentioned him a few times. I think he is an amazing comedian. He's American. Not that matters. I don't know why.
He's American.
He's American. But
Oh, shock horror.
Yeah, he was a comedian in the 80s, and he did a show called Revelation. Now, I urge everyone to go and watch that show. that stand-up skit. It's one of his last ones just before he died, and he tackles political social norms as well. He does this entire thing about drugs, which is absolutely brilliant. It's really, really good. And it's just a very, very good show. It's only an hour, but if you ever get the chance to see it, watch it. It is just genius. He was so far ahead of his time with challenging society's norms. He really was.
I think we also need to mention Sean Locke.
I was going to leave him till last because out of all the comedians, that man was sheer genius.
He was sheer genius, and his death really got me.
Yeah.
Like when he died, I was so shocked. And there is nothing more funny that Sean Locke did than Carrot in the Box.
Carrot in the Box was genius.
Him and John Richardson. Thank you. I think he said Robinson. John Richardson. Again, another very funny comedian. But it's just so funny. Please watch it if you haven't. It is one of the funniest things because there's part 1 and part 2 that he does. He does the
Carrot in the Box.
Carrot in the Box.
It's a game they came up with, which is so ridiculous.
It's just a bluffing game.
It's a bluffing game. But he did it so well.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. Someone else as well who we mentioned is Joe Wilkinson.
Oh, Jay Wilkinson.
I love Joe Wilkinson. I think he is absolutely hilarious.
He's got this kind of vibe that he's just so lives in the bushes. I don't know I don't know how else to describe it, but he just looks like he lives in a bush, and he just comes out. They just get him out for family events. But that's how it feels.
He does.
He's so good.
He does that random kind of comedy as well. I mean, when he was on Last One Laughing, and
of course he was.
He did his Joker, and he was standing there, and he just quoted a thing out of the RNLI. But it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I couldn't. It's just he's very dry as well.
Very
Again,
dry.
I think it's dry humor that I'm funny.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite comedy show / TV?
That's quite difficult. I don't really know.
I think it's when comedians are all together. I like shows like Buzzcock, Mock the Week, 8 out of 10 Cats. I love that side of things. I think that's the funniest for me. They're the ones I enjoy the most and want to go back to. Whereas I don't enjoy comedy films that much.
No, I mean, some of them funny. I mean, we watched Fackham Hall the other day with Jimmy Carr, and he wrote that with his brother, and that was actually very funny.
Yeah, I really want to watch that, actually.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah.
It is really good.
Fackham Hall.
Well, we've got it. We ended up buying it because it was
I know.
So if you wanted to watch it, you can watch around here, but it's very good.
Yeah, it's definitely on the list.
But what Jimmy Carr does in that is he's... so for instance, he plays the priest.
I get the impression that Jimmy Carr might be your favourite comedian. The amount you've mentioned him during this show.
What I like about Jimmy Carr, I don't find him overly funny, but I like the psychology behind him.
Okay,
And he's
fair
actually a very intelligent, and he's actually a lovely guy.
Yeah, he seems
You know,
it.
when he does his audience work,
I've noticed that. Like he'll be.
he's actually sweet, and
he is really
he's
sweet.
very respectful.
really respectful of the hecklers for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
he really is. And you know, there's one scene where I can't remember what it was, but I think a guy went to see him, and his wife wanted to see him, but she died before he went.
Yeah.
And Jimmy got him up on stage because then he said about the whole thing about, you know, you die twice.
Yeah.
So he said, you know, you die when you die, but you also die when somebody says your name for the last time.
Yeah.
And what Jimmy did was he made him say her name on camera.
Yeah.
So she was immortalised.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
He is very sweet like that. He's
Yeah.
definitely he's a dad as well, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he's got children.
Yeah, he is.
You know, and I just think, he's just a class act, really, just
He is.
all the way through.
Yeah.
Even if his jokes are offensive, I just think he's just a nice guy. But I think that's kind of what makes him so good. Yes, the tax evasion thing people were pretty annoyed about.
Yeah.
But he came on and he was just like, yeah, I did it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that he was just so blatantly like, yeah.
And also
I tried it,
on 8
wouldn't
out
you?
of 10 cats, that the day
Sean
the
Locke was on it,
episode
that
where that
episode.
happened, and Sean Locke, Jimmy Carr just looked at Sean Locke, and Sean Locke just smiled. That's all he had to do was smile,
Yeah.
and everybody lost it.
Yeah.
You just knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You just knew it, and
Exactly. And he really just owned up to it. It was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did that.
he did, and he still
I
does it
mean-
now. He still, you know.
I mean, wouldn't you though, like to avoid paying for tax?
Well, it was his accountant.
Yeah.
It was actually legal. What he did was legal.
It was
just
legal. It's just
immoral.
ethically immoral.
it was immoral.
Yeah. I mean,
There was one type of humour we've not mentioned. And
go
we've
on.
kind of mentioned it with the Mighty Boosh, the surreal humour.
yeah, it's not the most. I don't find it the most appealing. Like, I think Mighty Boosh is funny, but it's not the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I find Mighty Boosh is hilarious to me.
Yeah, you
But
find
then
it really funny.
I
but-
quite like Monty Python as well.
Yeah, you also like What We Did in the Shadows and stuff like
I
that.
love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, What We Did in the Shadows. It's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
that's not my type
Flight
of
of the
humour.
Conchords.
Yeah, again, not my type of humour.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I appreciate it.
I think one of the reasons why I like it is because when I did go to drama school and I studied it, there's 3 practitioners that I studied.
Mm-hmm.
One was Stanislavski, which was very naturalistic acting. The other one was Bertolt Brecht, and the one that I enjoyed the most was Antonin Artaud. And Artaud was theatre of the absurd,
Oh, okay.
and I really enjoyed doing the absurd theatre stuff. It was really good, and that surreal comedy plays into that.
Yeah.
So I respect it for what it is, really.
I got
what
you.
it is.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Do you often tell a joke though, Hannah? Do you like telling
I mean, I
jokes?
try on the podcast every single episode. I try and squeeze something in that
Yeah.
I think is funny.
Mhm. You are quite funny.
Well, I don't know if I am. I don't think I am funny, but people do laugh about the dry stuff that comes out of my mouth sometimes. So I guess I am funny, but I don't know I'm funny.
What did you send me the other day on text again? But it's you are very quick-witted, especially when it comes to being sarcastic with me. You are incredibly quick-witted.
Which is funny because I really struggle to detect sarcasm in other people. I've often said to Mitchell, like, your siblings are really horrible to you. It's like, no. That's a joke. That's funny. And I'm like, I don't find that funny. Like, it sounds like you're like really mean to each other. But then my sarcasm is like very much like, I don't know if I think a lot outside the box. I think I'm not very. Sometimes I don't always see it at face value.
Yeah.
I think I see that a lot. Like I'm not very good at. I think there is some sort of autism in me somewhere because I can't always detect like the nuance of the conversation. But over text, I feel like I'm funnier.
Well, I have a very sarcastic humour with my friends,
Yeah.
and this is quite well known. Is that if I take the mick out of you, it's because I like you.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the difference, isn't it? I think you joke among friends. There's some things that I would say to my friends that I'd never say out loud in another setting because I know that my friends know I'm not being serious.
Yeah, I know my audience as well. I'm
Yeah,
very
you know
careful
your
what I say when-
audience. Yeah. I think that's where comedy comes into play a lot. Is that sometimes it's the safe space or the confidence to do stuff. Like when we play Quiplash and things on online Jackbox games. like, I will say some hideous stuff that I would never say. Cards Against Humanity, another one that you would...
I love Cards Against Humanity. Because again, the reason why Cards Against Humanity is so funny is because it's random.
It's so
you don't
random.
know what's coming out. Yeah.
Like, I will never forget, maybe she's born with it, maybe it's backwards knees, was the funniest thing that Mitchell has ever said. I was crying my eyes out because it rhymed as well. Like, it's just so happened that card come out. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's backwards knees. Oh, just so freaking funny. But the thing is, again, with Cards Against Humanity, what I get annoyed about is like Madeleine McCann is the trump card.
Yeah.
Bigger, blacker dick is the trump card.
But we
kind
only
of
say
annoys
it's
me.
the trump card. It's not really, is it?
No, it's not. There are funnier things,
Yeah,
but yeah, that could be quite offensive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I can be quite dark sometimes with my
Your humour can be quite dark. I've got a colleague at work who's got quite dark humour as well, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, sometimes mine is a coping mechanism, though.
Yeah. I laugh at it, but it's more like, like I know I shouldn't be laughing at this. Like, I'm going to hell for laughing at this, but it is quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can, but also I do say some things. I'm quite quick-witted in some things that I say, and sometimes it just comes out. I mean, Taste the Penis was probably one of my finest moments.
God. Yeah. I'll pork your oven was a funny one from you. I'll pork your oven. Oh, God. No. That was in front of Mishy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, brilliant. But
anyway.
Anyway, we rattled on quite a lot. I didn't even get to really talk about the psychology of...
No, we don't need to.
Of
no one needs to know.
Comedy. No.
I thought that was the end.
No.
I saw the word conclusion and I thought,
that was
there's more.
There's more. I wrote loads of stuff.
Oh.
Do
you want to do a two-parter?
We could do.
Is it interesting enough?
No, it's more about psychology, which we kind of discussed slightly.
Yeah, okay. We'll leave it there then.
We'll leave it there.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Bonus Dad, Bonus Daughter Comedy Edition. We hope you found it funny. Above all things, we weren't actually that funny. No, we weren't.
No.
But yeah, this episode was dedicated to Mark, we wanted to do that because it felt right. So yes, join us for other podcast episodes. So we've got plenty in the bank, and cue the outro. Joining us on Bonus Dad, Bonus Daughter. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials and share the podcast with someone who'd love it. We are available on all streaming platforms. See you next time. Bye bye.